The city of Liverpool is making news again. In the past week, the headlines have been about the Labour Council's stand on the rates and, of course, the International Garden Festival. But in all that news coverage, we've not heard much from the community of Liverpool 8, whose sense of grievance erupted into violence 3 years ago. Ebony visited Liverpool's black community to hear from local people how they see their situation today. Krishna Govender is the reporter.
Last week, the Queen opens the first British International Garden Festival in Liverpool, but not everyone was cheering.
Well, I don't really feel that man can, live under flowers, or, flowers can, cover the people from the winter or feed them and things like that. And I think more times the people need more than just flowers, see? We need houses and shops, and we don't want no more grass seed, There's enough of it on Parliament Street, from the riots, man,
The main part of the system is done, side. It's done, side, man. It's not one man I deal with right now. It's a done, side.
Well, it's not even an ongoing thing. It's not going to create no jobs. It's just a one-off thing, as far as I can gather and that. And I think they could be using the money for better use, I mean, the old-age pensioners around here, they've got nowhere really to go.
I think it's a total waste of money and a disgrace. And another thing, it's not coming for Liverpool people. They're employing all kinds of Canadians, Australians, Americans, people from all over the globe. They're paying them top salaries and top wages to come into Liverpool and work. For what? It's not for Liverpool, it's not for the heart of Liverpool, it's not for us. I think it's a waste.
The festival, which has cost an estimated £30 million, is a direct result of the disturbances which hit Liverpool in 1981. 3 causes were blamed for starting the troubles: the long-term effects of unemployment and bad housing, and the more immediate problem of poor police-community relations.
Thank you. Thank you.
When the then Environment Secretary, Michael Hesiltine, visited the city in the aftermath of the Troubles, he launched a series of initiatives aimed at regenerating the inner city. Amongst these was the Garden Festival. But how has this helped the people of Liverpool 8, the city's black area and scenes of the worst trouble in 1981? And what has been done to improve housing, employment and police-community relations in the area? With me is Maria O'Reilly, a caseworker at Merseyside CRC, who has had to deal with many complaints against the police. Maria, how have relations between the police and the community improved since 1981?
Well, prior to 1981, we had many allegations of police brutality, verbal, racial abuse, to a scale that was unprecedented, I think, for a particular community. After the riots, we noticed, a complete drop in police complaints for quite a long time. Also a drop in racist attacks. Our problem is that we have no formal liaison with the police since the riots. Obviously, we'd have to look at that quite seriously, especially as the new police bill will probably, come into force quite soon, and may and will do, I think, institutionalise many of the sorts of complaints that we had prior to 81, strip searches, beatings and stuff like that. And there will be, I can assume, on the basis of past casework, police officers who may use that to abuse the black community, and that's quite worrying for us as a Community Relations Council.
So despite an improvement in police relations, this black community, like others, is uneasy at the prospect of the new police bill. Despite various national and local government improvement schemes, much of Liverpool 8 still remains desolate and derelict. One of the few new developments in Liverpool 8 is the Jolliffe Street scheme, bought by the council from a private developer and now being used to rehouse council tenants. But comparatively few black families are being moved onto the estate. There is also further evidence that black families are losing out when it comes to rehousing. A recent report blames the allocations policies of housing organisations, both public and private, for cases such as this. Merseyside CRC feels that the situation will remain the same until more black people are employed in housing.
I think there are a variety of ways of trying to change allocation policies, but I think one of the most fundamental ways of actually changing them is for more black people to be employed in positions of importance in these organisations. And I'm not talking about specialist positions such as race advisors, I'm talking about mainstream jobs.
There is a housing management scheme presently being run in the city. How does that work?
Works on the basis of a number of housing associations being involved in this particular scheme, with the objective being in housing management and not particular jobs relative to housing management, such as clerks' jobs or typist jobs or receptionist jobs. We're talking about mainstream jobs in housing management, and we're positively discriminating in favour of black people in that area.
Such training will do much to improve the job prospects of these young people. But in an area where unemployment is around 40%, few can hold out much hope, a problem which the Garden Festival has done little to alleviate.
And black people are still facing large discrimination in employment. They're not even getting to interview stage. And what's happening is that a lot of city centre employers are taking on equal opportunities policies, but aren't taking into account the Racial Relations Act of 1976 or the Code of Practice that came out in 81. But I mean, the Code of Practice, they've been working on that for the last 6 years and trying to get employers to take on the recommendations. And you know, you still find that black people aren't even moving into the menial jobs. They're not getting that opportunity.
Has the Garden Festival helped at all?
The Garden Festival was intended to help the Midside area, and that's what it's done. It's taken on people from outside of the Liverpool area, especially the Liverpool 8 area, where subcontractors have come from outside, brought their own workforce in, and over the years that it's been running, we've only been able to place 2 black people on the scheme, and that was only for a temporary employment of about 3 months. So, you know, the Garden Festival isn't going to, the black community isn't going to benefit from the Garden Festival at all.
There would seem to be little relationship then between the £30 million Garden Festival and Liverpool 8's black community. What's more, the community's opinion of the festival was not improved when it was offered just £500 to set up an African village as its involvement in the festivities. Only after the threat of a boycott was a more realistic offer of £51,000 made. The people of Liverpool 8 intend using this money to launch an alternative garden festival.